Whenever we have an electric car on test, the first thing I worry about is range anxiety. And Murphy's Law happened when I collected this car. It only had 50% battery left. So we called up the guys at Tom Camphor Motors and they happily allowed us to use their AC charger, which coincidentally comes with the vehicle when you buy it, and they simply need to install it at your house. While it's charging, you can monitor its progress by using the mobile app, or you can use the vehicle's infotainment system to see how much time is left. Whilst the vehicle charges, you might always wonder to yourself what is under the bonnet of an electric car, since the batteries sit at the bottom. In the case of this Volvo C40, you have got all your charging goodies, cables, first aid kits, and all the necessary items for your charging system put in right here. So we can call this a frunk. So what of the actual boot space of the vehicle? Well, as you can see, you have got ample space, and in typical Scandinavian fashion, they've thought of everything, because if I do this, all of a sudden, I've got a divider and I've got a spot where I can hang my groceries. Genius. The Volvo C40 stays true to its Scandinavian roots in terms of styling and appeal. Minimalism is the name of the game, with a strong focus on clean lines and aesthetically pleasing angles. All this results in a striking vehicle which earns its right to be called beautiful. That beauty permeates into the interior too, as you're welcomed by a high-quality cabin featuring a portrait-style infotainment screen which allows you to control various vehicle settings, as well as a combination of leather and Alcantara seats. The coupe styling of the C40 adds to its beauty, but that does come at a cost, as the side windows are smaller compared to its XC40 sibling, making visibility challenging. But our biggest bugbear was the limited visibility from the sloping rear windscreen. I guess that's the price you pay for looks. With sleek lines comes compromise. With cars being so smart today, us journos often need some time to recalibrate ourselves going from car to car. Thankfully, in the case of the C40, this car does come with a bit of a tutorial. If you press here where it says Owner's Manual, it gives you a range of options before driving, while driving, exterior, interior, and the list goes on. But if I click onto the exterior here, it will tell me key things about the car. For instance, here, it tells me that's a cargo area. Over there, it talks about the windows, the glass, and the mirrors. And if we get out and we go to interior, over here, it tells me about the driver's display and how to work that. It also tells me how to use the center display. We often just call it an infotainment system. Volvo calls it a center display. But the nice thing is that if there's anything that's troubling you, which may very much be the case in a car like this, you can quickly learn how to do certain things in the vehicle so that you don't get stuck trying to figure it all out by yourself. We need to remember that with electric cars, the power delivery is instant. So you often need to recalibrate your inputs so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you run into the back of somebody. Another thing that you need to get used to in an electric car is the way the vehicle brakes, because these vehicles have a system called energy brake regeneration. So when I lift off the throttle, the vehicle starts to hunker down and it uses that kinetic energy to charge the batteries. In this Volvo C40, the energy brake regeneration system is quite aggressive. But once you get used to it, it's actually quite pleasant to use. And in the end, you don't really have to use the brakes. All you need to do is simply lift off the throttle and the vehicle slows itself down. But I do feel that this Volvo does need to come with a disclaimer, because with the fancy electronic systems in this car and the batteries that it uses, that does mean that you've got quite a lot of power. To be exact, you've got 300 kilowatts and 660 Newton meters, which results in this when you accelerate. Now, if you're not used to that sort of power, you may find yourself running into a bit of trouble. Trouble with yourself, and most likely trouble with the law. In my time as a motoring journalist, I've seen the progress and improvement electric cars have made, and no doubt after experiencing the new Volvo C40, I can honestly say that the future looks promising.